You are now listening to ForAllNerds Show, a podcast about geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. ForAllNerds is hosted by DJ Ben Amin and Tatiana Keene Jones. ForAllNerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
ForAllNerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/ForAllNerds.
Welcome to the Fan Bros, the show where the bros are fans. Doodle.
And what's up, y'all? And welcome to this very extremely special edition of the ForAllNerds Show. The voice of the urban geek, the podcast where we discuss geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. And as always, it's your boy, DJ Ben Amin, a.k.a. Halal Jordan, Cal L. Bundy, Dot Pilgrim, Bidfetch, Lion O. Richie, the legend of Slapper Vance, De La Troll.
Shit, okay, I'm sorry.
I've actually said that before. I'm done.
It just hit me. I'm sorry.
let me just introduce my co-host.
The legend of Slapper Vance. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, this is Tatiana King, aka Flex Luthor, aka Tatiana Kang the Conqueror, aka the King of the North, aka Kuji Chagalia down to the socks, aka I'm dreaming of a Walter White Christmas. And we are here for the Guac episode of ForAllNerds. Ben Hameen, your background is looking fresh to death. I mean, first of all, the Thanos with the, not the Thanos, but the Galactus with the Combat Jack. Is that a Combat Jack hat on it?
Yes, it is. Limited rare edition right there.
Okay, and then I see you have this new lighting feature with the snake pattern going through it right now. What's up?
I mean, we just doing some things for those who are watching us on twitch.tv/ForAllNerds or on YouTube, where you can see all of this glitz and glamour going on. We are just doing some, we doing a few little things over here, making it happen for the captains and the people out there.
Yeah.
So, hopefully y'all see us.
Yeah.
And see what we doing.
I mean, I think that's a good thing, right? Like, people would want to see us upgrading, little by little, like SimCity, like little by little, upgrade, and you have some cool things going on in the background. So you'll see me upgrade soon. Soon I won't have a virtual background.
Soon. Yes.
But that being said, we are back with our Guac episode. All guac, all the time, all guac, everything. And this is also, we're leading into the holidays, Ben Hameen. Are you a big holiday person?
Yes. I mean,
there's a pause there.
Yeah, there's definitely a pause there. I don't like the capitalist side of it, but that goes with anything. There's like 2 Walgreens commercials right now that I hate and love. There's one where they bring gifts to the nurse in the hospital and it's real sweet. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. They went to Walgreens and got their nurse who delivered their baby some gifts. That's sweet. And then there's another one where it's just like all these different families, and one family's like, we just be throwing things in the cart, and it's like, they don't say it like that, but it's just the idea of somebody just spending, where it's like spend.
Yeah.
And that's my problem, with the whole holidays. But the idea of getting together with your family, seeing people, the food, just the whole lights, we in New York, so you get to see all the different setups. I mean, I grew up in Houston where people would do it up, where it's like streets.
I mean, do they be having it how they do now? Like, well, they do it a lot for Christmas and Halloween, where they like connect the systems. They're like huge LED systems.
Not on my block.
To music,
but on other blocks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. There's this one block down the street from my boy Andrew where the whole block would coordinate, and this from day, way back. and they would have it where the lights even go over the street, so it's like a tunnel of lights when you drive through. Yeah, so the
so
house,
like each of the houses were like coordinate throwing
yes,
lights to each
together.
other.
Yeah, yep.
That's fire. Like making archways on their own
making
street.
archways over the street. It was insane.
Wow.
So yeah, like I grew up with that type of stuff. So yeah, it's always been a thing.
I mean, I've seen. I'm from New York, so I've seen that a lot. Little Italy, and Chinatown.
I mean,
and all random places
New York,
in all the boroughs. There's lighting and beautiful lights, and of course, you have the tourist traps, Rockefeller Centers, and all that stuff. It was so funny. Like one late night, I had happened to be walking. It's very rare, but I had to be walking past Rockefeller Center, and they were putting the tree up. So like I got to see like the whole structure and how they really do it. And I mean, similar to you, I guess I'm not so much for the capitalistic aspects of it. Like, I mean, me personally, like, has been years since I actually wanted stuff for Christmas, right? Like, not since I was really like a kid where I was really sitting there when someone says, "What do you want for Christmas?" And then you had a list of things. Like now, like dead ass, when people ask me, I'd be like, "I'm good," because I mean, I feel like, I mean, it's not like the most exclusive, most icy, most expensive things, but I do feel like I typically get what I want or need throughout the year. I work for it, so when this time comes, I'm like, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, and I also just don't like the idea of burdening other people like that. But I am all for, if you want to give me a gift, I will accept it graciously. So
yeah, because I've definitely been that dude who's been like, oh, I want this and that, and now it's like, one, I just don't want much, and like you said,
I don't want much. Yeah.
I work for things and like right now my main fiendom is, as you see behind me, is Marvel Legends. And they're like, and now I've gotten to the point with them where I won't buy them unless I can find them for super cheap. Like I just saw this deal. There's a stupid deal at GameStop right now for all y'all out there. So they got joints for like $5. I'm gonna cop a few right there. Yeah, it's like $5. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I'm not out here buying watches, anything like that. I got my niece who makes chains. You're not buying
Rollies?
Nah, I got my
down?
Nah, shake them. Nice watch. Nah, I never had anybody say that to me.
One day, Benjamin. One day.
One day.
I mean, I like the finer things, but also like again, just when it comes to like the Christmas stuff, like I'm just more so like wanting to see my fam, eat good food, and if someone surprises me with an amazing gift, that's awesome, but it's not a requirement. And but yeah, it's cool things. Also cool things. Our merch. Y'all, thank y'all so much. We've been getting such amazing feedback for the merch. If you go to ForAllNerds.com right now, you will be taken right to our merch page where you get to see, as I'm wearing now, the T'Challa and Friends shirt. You see all those beautiful, amazing Black heroes here. You can get this in a few different colors. Thank you, as I mentioned, to everyone who's already hit that page. A lot of you, actually. I've seen people buying the shirts and people buying the sweatshirts. And I just can't wait till y'all get them. A couple of people already posted themselves wearing their merch and tagged us in it. Please make sure you put it on, show out, do whatever, but tag us so that we can show you love too, because we appreciate all the support you've given us. We also still have our TeePublic page as well. Ben-Ami is actually wearing one of the designs there. Do you like to fuck around and find out Miss Minutes design that you remember from Loki on the Disney Plus series? There's still some dope designs there, but we are going to be progressively moving towards our own personal store because why? Entrepreneurship, right?
Yes.
And because giant corporations don't love us, so
we got to form our own giant corporation,
right?
Pretty much, so we give no love to anyone else. No, but I mean. Yeah, honestly, I actually see For All Nerds going to be an ill merch brand, and I want that, for ourselves, so we can't keep feeding some other people when, we are a Black-owned business.
Feed ourselves, feed a Black-owned business, feed our peoples. Like you say, you see what we do when we do have it like that. What do? We put on amazing events. We give back to the community. Like we do shit that we've always wanted to do when we have the resources. So that's why it's so important and why we're so blessed and gracious when you all support us in a variety of ways, when y'all are sharing this show, when y'all telling people about this show, when y'all nagging Spotify and all these other people and pressing them to be like, hey, yo, this is the podcast. All of that activity, keep doing it. Do it times 1,000,000 in 2023 because it helps us grow. And as you can see, it helps us upgrade like Ben-Ami's lights. So Keep it coming. We appreciate it.
We are really going to have to do a year-end show. I know we haven't done the fan awards in a while. I don't know if we're gonna do it again this year either.
It's gonna have to be like pre-recorded.
Yeah, that's for
the
real.
end of the year is rough for me, bro.
Yeah, it's super rough for me as well because I like to relax and chill, and it's the one time that I get it. So, but yeah, I do. There is a lot of things this year that I feel like we still haven't given the proper attention to. I'm still upset that we have never done a show on RRR because I just feel like that movie has not gotten the respect and love that it deserves.
Yeah.
Or even we didn't do an Everything Everywhere all at once review.
Episode.
Yep.
Yeah. You're right.
No. Two of my favorite movies of all time now. I actually need to watch everything again. I've only seen it one time.
So good. God damn.
So good.
So good.
And RRR is like, I've seen that movie multiple times at this point, and it's still one of my everything.
I'm still singing. I still have the songs. I mean, every time you say RR, immediately the music comes into my head. So. Hey. Oh, we should. Oh, we got to do a remix, Ben. I mean,
I've tried. I haven't figured that one out yet.
We got to do it. No, you'll figure it out, man.
Yeah, that's something else. That's a whole nother story. As well, yeah. So no, we have not done enough. We did do our Andor review. Shout outs to everyone for checking that out.
Shout out to Mello and Dr. Drea.
And Dr. Drea for joining us on that. And congratulations to Mello for the announcement of his show that he will be executive producing Suge Baltimore on coming soon. I'm not sure where yet, but we'll figure that out. But congratulations. And shout outs to Dr. Drea as well, because she is actually was part of the press for that new game that I'm ignoring because it's too scary.
Some like horror shit?
Yeah, some space horror shit. And they say it's dope as fuck. And she was doing like the press and talking about the psychology of it, but I can't remember the name because I watched the trailer and I was like, nope. And I put that shit out of my head right away.
I don't play those types of
Helix
games.
Or something. I can't remember. It was something where I was like, nah, fam, I'm good.
I'm okay.
Yeah, but shout outs to them. We did the Andor review. But we recovered pretty much the whole season of Andor. I have to say, I think Andor is easily my favorite show of the year and one of my favorite shows of all time. That and Atlanta, which with the finale of this last
I gotta
season,
finish it, that finale. I gotta finish the series.
The whole, yeah. I mean, I'm about to rewatch the whole thing, but I think that Atlanta is easily now in my top 10, top 5 shows of all time. Like, easily.
Oh, and the game you were referring to, the Callisto Project?
Yes.
It's a survival.
Is it Callisto or Callisto?
Callisto.
Okay. Yeah.
Like some chaos shit, but chaos agent shit. But the Callisto Project is a survival horror video game developed by Striking Distance Studios. And yes, Dr. Drea is part of that team that's talking about all about the psychology behind it.
Yep. And the Callisto, actually, I just was reading about that myth because Callisto is the leader of the Morlocks in the X-Men. And she is horribly scarred. But the myth that tells the story of Callisto is that of a beautiful woman who then sleeps with Zeus or somebody, and then someone else scars her because of that.
Right.
Out of jealousy.
Wait, Robert Kirkman's involved in this?
Did not know.
Because I was just watching the video real quick on her Twitter, on her tweet, and Robert Kirkman is the first man to pop up. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, well, get that money either way. Somehow, that man. Get into the bag, Kirkman.
I know he won't remember me, but I feel like I've met him so many times over now, and Ben still hasn't been there.
I've met him so many. No, I've met him.
Oh,
what do you
separately.
Mean? Yeah, I've met him so many times now. I have him on video too. I'm talking to him, take pictures with him. Told him showed him the video that you took where it said come on the show. I've met him like
Robbie capping because he stays like I'm there.
Kirkman. Big Cap, because that man. Rest in peace to Big Cap too. I think Big Cap passed away. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm not sure. Hopefully, I mean, hopefully not. But
damn.
Yeah, that went all wrong. But yeah, Big Kirkman, stays tapping on us because we have both met him separately several times. Several. I mean, going back to my first Comic-Con, I think I met him then. It was either the first or the second. Yeah.
Well. Maybe we'll see him one day, or we'll be sitting in an interview with him, like just like this, just like where Dr. Dre is. We'll be sitting in the room with him, and he'll be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna come on the show." Sure, sir.
Yeah,
sure.
Never happens.
That's all right.
It's like who is the most cap for us? Wesley Snipes.
Well, not Wesley, because the most Wesley has done is liked our tweets.
No. Wait, correction. I personally went to a book signing for Wesley Snipes' book, where Wesley Snipes himself was there because he co-authored a book that he was pushing to, turn into a new franchise and everything. It was like a science fiction book, and he co-authored it. So I personally went to the book signing, bought the book, had Mr. Snipes sign it, and stood there and explained to him who I was and how we'd been harassing him on Twitter. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I know about y'all." Obviously, because he follows us.
Because he was liking our tweets. Oh, I know about y'all.
And gave me his publicist's number and email. What do you think happened? Big cap Wesley Snipes.
Big capping.
So he's right up there with Kirkman. I want to call this man out, but he said that on the end of the year he gonna be on the show.
Wait, who? I want to know. What's T, Ben? I mean, should we save this at the Patreon?
Because he said he's going to be on the show.
Oh.
And I don't want people blowing up his Twitter because he is active on Twitter and he follows me and he is a mother effing legend. So I will give him grace.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I will give him grace because he
So is it him? So it's a man.
Yes. And he's black.
And he's black.
And a legend in the film and TV industry. I will say that.
He's in the TV and film industry, you said?
He's
a legend.
Made his name in comedies.
Eddie Murphy.
No, oh God, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. I'd be somewhere recording with Eddie Murphy. No, but is on a what's one degree of knows Eddie Murphy personally.
Marlon Wayans.
I'm not gonna keep eliminating, but a legend, and it's somebody that you're probably not gonna guess offhand, Tatiana. I would say that. Damn. Not right now. You would have to think, but
fucking God himself, Morgan Freeman.
Nah.
Damn.
That's another one I would.
No. Savage Mode 3. No.
All right. One last hint before we move on to Guat. There's a lot of other things other than actors, out there.
There are Reginald Hudlin. Shit. I'm trying to name directors and writers and stuff. God damn it, I have not been on this show. I'm gonna find out. Whatever, bruh.
Yep.
I'm gonna find out.
All right.
Should we take a break?
On.
Should we take a break before we go to Guat?
We should take a quick break before we go to Guat. And we will be right back with more from the For All Nerds show right after this.
This is Yvonne Chapman. I play Jalan on Kung Fu's CW. When I'm not on set, I am listening to For All Nerds.
This is Niambi. When I'm not busy doing the acting thing, the writing, drawing, illustrating, I'm listening to For All Nerds.
This is Shannon Houston, writer on HBO's Lovecraft Country, and you are listening to For All Nerds.
This is Malcolm Spellman, head writer of Falcon and Winter Soldier. You are listening to For All Nerds.
It's Ihoma, writer for Lovecraft Country. When I am not creating, I am listening to For All Nerds.
My name is Damon Lindelof. I'm one of the writers of Watchmen, The Leftovers, Lost, and when I am not sheltering in place, washing my hands, and sheltering from squids, I am listening to For All Nerds.
This is Kate Herron. I'm the director of Loki, and you are listening to For All Nerds.
And welcome back, y'all, to this For All Nerds episode, the Guac is Extra episode, even though we've been talking about all kind of things, because that's what we do on For All Nerds, where we talk about geek and pop culture, and that's why y'all love us and support us, and thank you for everyone all the people who've been coming through over at patreon.com/ForAllNerds, where you can be one of the few, the proud, the millions
and millions
who help support the mission that we are on right now, that you are watching. Through you, we can do all these things, like these little bit of upgrades, like these lights behind us. I'm about working on getting us a new camera system over here so you can see us in beautiful HD. All that type of stuff. We just doing it through y'all. Patreon.com/ForAllNerds, where you can get exclusives. And I do mean exclusives, like discounts on all our merch. We're about to hook y'all up with a new code for ForAllNerds.com, because I know y'all been asking about that, and we got y'all. Plus exclusive episodes. We about to drop a new one over there quite soon that you'll be getting in your ear holes and your eye holes very soon. So make sure you get that. Look, we give it to them raw on Patreon.
The Reggie came out. It was Rest in Power, Combat Jack. The Reggie came out.
Yes, the Dallas Pin. Shout outs to Dallas Pin on the format. All up in your ear hole. So now that we're done with that, Patreon, all that good stuff, as always, thank you for supporting us. Like we said before, ForAllNerds.com, where you can get all the fly merch and support a Black-owned business, a geek-owned business, all that great stuff. Plus, not only that, we got flavor. You know what I mean? Like, there is a lot of whack geek culture, merch out there.
Yeah.
We not bringing you that. We bringing you flavor.
And I feel like I've said this before, or maybe I tweeted and deleted it because I didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but now I don't care. I don't like that stuff out there, y'all. Like the stuff y'all be posting, like, wouldn't you like to wear this? No, because it's weak.
No.
It's weak. I like the merch we make.
I just saw somebody talking about where they at. They're at what's going on right now, the Video Game Awards, and how no one there has any swag. And it's
damn.
Like, I'm sorry, y'all, but when we show up to these things, swag.
We are always
swag
with the drip. And I'm saying you can have drip and represent your hood when it comes to geek culture. So look, come on, look at this. Come on.
You got to do it. You know what I mean? Anything less would be unccivilized. So, moving on, it is now time for the Geekquently Ask Question. The guac is extra, where we answer any and all questions from our listeners and our supporters out there. You can hit us up, contact@forallnerds.com, as I do the Birdman hand rub for those watching on twitch.tv/forallnerds. Or you can always hit us up on the Instagrams, on the Twitters @ForAllNerds. Sometimes when we're live, you can hit us up on twitch.tv/ForAllNerds.
Sometimes.
We're figuring that out, but it's coming together. We got the new computer, thanks to y'all on the Patreon. Things have been happening. It's looking crisp. Few little things to work out, and we'll be right there. But tonight, what do we have up first?
The first comes from Gator Maine. They write, with the rumor that Marvel is supposedly reevaluating phases 5 and 6 in hindsight, was phase 4 really that bad? I feel like people are chasing an Infinity War high that can't be reproduced, similar to the OG trilogy prequel trilogy. Will phase 4 be remembered positively down the road?
Yeah.
Yes, it will. And I do think the people who are saying phase 4 was trash are being way too harsh.
You're
being way too harsh, and you're being way too short-sighted. You may have not liked one thing here. Maybe it was She-Hulk, I don't know. But Thor, Love and Thunder. Like, it may have been one thing, but overall, I wouldn't say that 4 was a failure. Phase 4 was a failure at all. Like, I feel like there were bad points and low points in the other phases, the previous phases too. So, like, nothing's perfect. Like, I just don't see that it's been like a domino effect of just horrible things happening. Now, to your point, Gator Maine, I do feel like, people want that build that. I don't know why you want the same thing happening again. Maybe you want I don't think you want the same thing happening again. You want that feeling. Mm-hmm. You want that epic build up to the big release of, oh my God, I see it. I see everything, right? I'm omniscient and I see everybody and everything. But it's also like, why do you want to see Infinity War over and over and over again, right? It's a bit much. So generally speaking, I think people are being too harsh. I do think like down the road, certain things like She-Hulk will get more just due. Like people like, that really was clever, or what, they really did pay homage to these stories and the panels and this and that, and
Yes.
they really will see the beauty and the intelligence in how they did these things.
I mean, I personally thought like, because what most of, if not all, this is okay, yeah. All of the Disney Plus is in phase 4. And I think the TV shows, some of them are exceptional. Like Loki, like
Loki's
WandaVision.
fucking exceptional.
Exceptional. What If I think was very good. I thought, let's see, No Way Home, pandering in ways, but also an exceptional.
Well, pander to me.
Pander to me because it's an exceptional emotional ride. Wakanda Forever. Like, what we've already had like 3-4 episodes on this film. It's
facts.
Like me just thinking about it right now, I'm just like, oh, damn.
Yeah. And then it also makes me wonder, like, what do you want? Like, I'm confused. Like,
they don't know. People don't know.
Right. Do you really know? Like, did Steve Jobs say it? Or maybe a lot of people have said it, people don't know what they want. I'm just going to give it to you. I'm going to give you to what you need or what you think you want or whatever it is.
That's like the rule of Hollywood is that people don't know what they want and you have to give them what they need. And it's, that makes a great creator is to be able to fill that void. And it's also this hindsight thing where it's like you can look back at the thing and see allegedly Marvel's bid plan, but when you were watching it, there was no bid plan, and things didn't ramp up until Infinity War out of nowhere. And then it was like, oh my God, here's Thanos. Oh wow, this is crazy. This is the best thing ever. And Infinity War is so good that it makes up for there not being a plan through phase 1, 2, and 3. It's just, but Infinity War makes it seem like, okay, I kind of get it. He was just sitting there while all this book. No. They didn't know exactly what's happening.
I think whether you realize it or not, I think you answered the question for me in my head, just conceptually, where this comes from, this feeling people have comes from. You just said it. You said phase 1 through 3, like no one knew what was happening. And that I think there is a certain level of what's the word I'm looking for? The certain level of winning you feel when you don't know what's happening. All of a sudden it coalesces something spectacular, right?
Yes.
You don't know where this is going. And I think because you can't replicate that now, because you know the formula, quote unquote, now, you know what is going to happen. They fucking give you the whole slate of movies 10 years in advance, damn near. I think that is what's hitting people's brains and like, okay, well, it better be like this. Like before, there was none of that. Yep. And that's what I'm saying. I think you outlined really what the reason. What was the reason? I think that's the reason.
It's just like
people were presented with something that was brand new, never been done before, and as you said, it was maybe not a real plan, but it ended up being a cohesive plan, and then it became this huge surprise. Like, oh my God, they actually do it. Whereas now people are expecting this all the time with everything. And I just feel like, well, I think you need to open your mind up to nuances now, which is where the TV shows come into play, right? They're not these giant billion-dollar tentpole films, but they have really strong implications to the overall story that we now have. And I think people are missing the forest for the trees, right? And I think that's what's happening.
One, I don't give a damn about the overall story. I think that's all. I think that's become the biggest problem is that people are looking for this overall story instead of focusing on, does WandaVision tell a very good story about grief? And that's what I wanted.
So maybe they see the forest, but they're not seeing the trees now. They need to see the individual trees, what they're worth.
And then here's the other issue, like you said, is that because people want a feeling again, people were talking about Secret Wars before they even announced Secret Wars because people know that's a big thing in Marvel and that's the only big thing in the comics that people could think about that, there's a lot of big things, but that's the one that most people know about. It's very famous from comics. So people are like, okay, they can do Secret Wars with the Avengers, right? And then they'll bring together all these multiverses and we'll get all this different stuff. And that was even before they announced it. So it's like people are looking so far into the future instead of being like, okay, what am I watching now? Is Ant-Man going to be dope?
What's impactful now to me?
Yes. Is this going to be good?
And never mind, what does it
mean in the larger
What does it mean in the long term? Right. You can figure that out after you watch it. It's like, what does this mean to me now?
Yes. What does this mean now? Am I going to enjoy this? Is this going to tell a good story?
Yeah.
And that's what I look for. And to varying degrees, they've told very good stories. So, I think in long term, people will look back and this is minor blip.
Okay.
Yep.
Next one comes from Arlefa. I hope I said your name right. They write, hope y'all are doing awesome. What, in your opinion, is the most important MCU movie or show in 2023? Do you mean 2023 coming out? And why?
I think so. I think they mean coming out next year.
Potentially Quantumania. Because Kang. But I mean, that's just the easy answer to me. It could. I mean,
Guardians, the Marvels, right? All three of those.
The Marvels I would find important because it's pulling in Kamala. So excuse me. So and that's important for me to see that transition through Captain Marvel, through Miss Marvel, all that stuff. I mean, I know we just sat here and just said, stop thinking about the huge picture, but just from a huge picture standpoint, I do think Quantumania probably may be the most important one.
For me, it's because I want to see Kang. Yeah. I'm not sure, and I have no idea what TV shows are coming out next year. You might have to pull up a list because
I'm about to right now, actually.
All right, cool. Because I have no clue about what is coming out next year in general. I don't.
Yeah. So I mean, like I
lose track.
We said a few of them already, but you said the Marvels. We said Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain America: New World Order. Oh, that's 2024. Sorry.
Yep. The three movies are Ant-Man, Marvels, and
Guardians.
That's it.
Yeah, but then as far as TV, What If season 2 is that going to be out?
Yeah,
in time?
Think so. Loki season 2 is going to be out.
Yeah, Loki season 2. That's going to be fucking impactful.
Yep.
I feel like things related to the multiverse and Kang is going to be the most important. And when I say important, I don't mean better. I just mean most important in terms of touching every single thing within it and beyond.
I'm most hyped to see Loki and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So
Kang. I mean, do you think anything else?
I don't know. That's the thing. I'm not even sure what's to come out because like Marvel now has shown that they can just drop shit. Like
they can drop anything.
Up until I know, for me at least, a few weeks before it actually came out, I was not 100% sure that Werewolf by Night was coming out. I kept hearing rumors and everything, but I wasn't 100% until I saw the trailer, and that was like 3 weeks before it came out. So. Who knows what else they do next year like that?
What If season 2? We also have Secret Invasion is important.
Oh, that's to be so good too.
Secret Invasion is really important,
and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Damn, I forgot about that shit. That shit looks
man.
good.
That's 6 episodes. Echo's coming out. I don't really personally care that much. Maybe
Echo's actually coming out. Or what about Daredevil?
Allegedly, still summer 2023.
Daredevil. They've been talking the shit out of Daredevil. That's next year, right?
I don't know. Loki season 2. We said that. Ironheart's important.
Is that coming? Oh yeah, that's coming out. They're shooting
that's
now.
Fall 2023. X-Men 97's fall 23.
Ooh, hot.
Yeah, man. The Agatha series is winter 23.
For real?
Daredevil's has spring 24.
Fucking hell.
So
they just need to shut up about that then. They be talking. They have.
But you know they changed the slate too. They 3 weeks ago they changed it again. So I mean,
they ain't pushing things up though. That's a 12. That joint is like 12 episodes. That they putting all the money and everything into that. So
yeah. But okay, yeah. Secret
Invasion, Ant-Man, and Loki. What I'm hype about.
Yeah, definitely. All right. The next question comes from the Chaotic Rambler. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
What is your goal for 2023, or what is happening that has you excited? Ooh, I know one for Ben that we can't say yet, but
well, I mean, I know one for both of us that we can't say yet.
That too.
Shit. Oh yeah, and before I said October 23rd, I was now say October 19th. If I'm right, 2023, right? I can say that much.
Is it October? Yeah.
October 19th.
Yeah.
Before on one show, I ended it with an oblique reference and said the 23rd, and that's the wrong date. So it's actually the 19th.
Should we say where we're gonna be?
Yeah, why not? Washington,
DC.
DC. October
Washington,
19th,
DC. Yeah.
2023. Y'all should be there, if at all possible.
If at all possible.
Is all I'm gonna say so far. We're about to sign some things though, and then we'll say a lot more.
Yeah, let's get this done legally first, and then
yeah, and then we'll say a lot more after that. And then I have another thing that I still can't announce. And oh my god, I'm just like,
I'm so proud of Ben. I mean, I'm extremely proud of him and everyone involved in this. But
my brother Mello, shout out to Mello. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're saying his name. Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
okay,
we can say that. We can say
this is a vague reference. Okay.
And I've said that it is a comic book. I think we've said that.
You did say that.
Yeah,
okay.
I've said that.
But
I've talked about that on Twitter. So that's
my brother. I am extremely proud of you, and I just think this is just destiny. One of your destinies fulfilled. So I'm really happy for this coming.
Yeah, my first comic book should be done in 2023. I mean, me and Mello are done writing it. It's currently being illustrated by another mother effing legend. I cannot get over it. I've seen the first full penciled and inked issue, and it's mind blowing. It's like, every time I think about it. But another one of my goals through that is to write for Marvel, write a Marvel comic next year. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it's a goal I have every year. I want to be in a Marvel film. I just want to say like 2 words or a line, 1 line, 2 words, 1 line, but one where you see me on screen at least for 7 seconds. Because I think that's just the sweet spot. Like, you don't need to see me for a full like commercial break, but just long enough to be like, was that Tatiana? That's what I want. That has been my goal for 10 fucking years, and it will continue to be my goal until it happens, because it will happen. I'm speaking that into the universe. My other goal is to finish 2 scripts. I have tons of things that I'm writing that are in various stages of completion, but nothing done. I need to finish. So that's a huge goal for me. Finish what you started and just have it done and available, because when that shot comes, you're not ready. Who can't blame nobody but yourself. So gotta have that shit happening.
I've learned that one. And I also want to finish some more strips. So like I said, I finished this comic and I finished other strips, but I want to tighten some up and get some ready, because when this comic comes out, I do believe it's going to lead to a lot of opportunities. I have no idea how big this thing could be. It's one of the weirdest things about it, because it's something that could be massive.
Well, be like the first few phases of the MCU and know nothing, Jon Snow, because you're going to be so surprised in a great way at the end.
And I'm putting it into the universe that it's going to be massive.
It's going to be.
I want it to be a New York Times bestseller, and I can see that.
I hope so. I hope so.
I can definitely see that.
I'm definitely going to invent something in 2023. I already have. And by invent something, I know that's wild vague, but literally invent something. I already had the idea pop up in my head like 2 days ago, and I'm going to go in R&D immediately. So
Nice.
that is a goal of mine. And hopefully, I don't even know if Shark Tank's a thing anymore. Maybe you'll see me on Shark Tank. I don't know. But it's that type of shit. So I'm just excited. I'm excited I'm alive, bro. Like, I know it sounds real cliche or just regular degular, but I'm fucking excited that I am alive and happy, because I was in we always in various stages of up and down, but I was in a very bad place past couple of years, and then to just be on the up and up and growing in so many different spaces, personally, professionally, everything. Like, I'm just excited to be happy and alive.
Me too. I was very depressed last week, but like it
be like that.
Yeah, it'd be like that. And then I'm just very happy to lately, and overall, like, I was very stressed last week, but overall, I think for the last like 6-7 months, I've been in a really good place where I've just been really focused on work and really focused on doing things that I love, and, just being happy about things in the moment and being appreciative of everything I have. And because of that, I've been really good and really happy. And so I'm just really excited. And like I said, I really cannot wait for this comic book to come out, because it's just to be, it's to be so interesting. Like, I just keep thinking about it. Like, because I've read, like today I was reading, shout out to Kieran Gillen. I was reading, and Al Ewing. X-Men read. Quick comics I copped. Oh my God. Like, Al Ewing has been, from Immortal Hulk to his Defenders run was incredible. what did I start fucking with him before Mortal Hulk? What I can't remember what got me hooked on that nigga. But he's now doing X-Men Red, and every issue has been pure perfection. This issue ends with Storm shining and just like, oh, God, if I didn't already love that woman. Like, I have like 5 versions of Storm behind me. I'm about to get another one. And I'm mad that Marvel Legends has not done this new outfit that she has. And I'm going to start pressing them on it because I need that Marvel Legends version of her Brotherhood outfit. X-Men Red's incredible.
Anyone listening does figurines, like
actually, no,
makes them themselves, because
I have a follower on Instagram who is a black dude who does customs, and I could hit him up. Yeah.
I think that would be fire to just get a custom exactly of what you want. Like, that would be even more fire. That would even be more of a centerpiece.
Yeah.
And also that specifically doesn't remind me, but it reminded me that I forgot to mention Virtuous Con, that fully virtual online convention that is coming back February 25th and 26th. I am on the team once again. I am the talent director. So we are building up to what's going to be another fabulous event. Last year was dope, fire. Everyone really enjoyed themselves. You might see Ben Amin there, maybe. I don't know. Depends on how he feels.
I think that's my weekend of my birthday, so we'll see.
It is the weekend of his birthday, so maybe not. I don't know, but there will be.
I ain't gonna be there.
We've already we have some amazing guests already confirmed. I know they announced a few over the weekend, but yeah, Virtuous Con, y'all check that out, virtuouscon.com. And like I said, every week they're just announcing more and more people, and it's just going to be a good time. So if you want to go to a convention, just think convention focused on Black people, people of color, and it's all online, so you don't have to go nowhere. This is for you.
Also, speaking of DC again, I think I'm going to be at MagFest.
Wow,
first weekend in January. I'm just gonna be there because they're so independent that they don't even have press passes or any of that stuff. So we just don't be up in the house.
Just gonna show up.
I'm just gonna show up.
I was at MagFest maybe 6 years ago. That was the last time I was. And
I heard it's
lit. My brother's there every single year.
Nice.
So,
okay.
He recently moved, so I don't know if he's gonna be there this year, but if so, he'll be there too.
Yeah, Mello is gonna be there, and it's
cool.
in DC. So I'm like, shit, why not? Might as well slide down, for the weekend. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be up in there real quick. See what's going on in the MagFest. So holla at me if you out there.
So that's what's happening in 2023, and I'm excited about more opportunities. I want more speaking engagements. I want more events. I just want to be out there and do things. I want to be outside.
Yep. I want to go to more cons like MadFest. I'm also planning on hitting Dragon Con in ATL.
It's usually in August.
And Blurred Con. I'm definitely
in DC. In like June, July.
Yep. I'm marking those. Hopefully this book is out by then and I can do some, signings or whatever, just showing up and, selling this whole, out the trunk of my car, because that's how I'm gonna be doing
sounding like Master P.
Yep, that's how I'm gonna be doing it, boy. Y'all think I'll be pushing shit now when this book drop? Man.
Great question. That was a really good one, helping us to identify and speak our goals into existence.
Yep.
The next question comes from
I want to work on Mello's show.
I want to work on a show, y'all. So
yeah, I want to work on Mello's show. I'm just putting that out there so I can annoy him.
I want to
make sure his shit get greenlit. So yeah.
Then okay. The next question comes from TJ Ronan Artists. They write, lately I've been on an X-Men high. My question is, how do you bring them into the MCU? I think we might have answered this before.
Yeah, we've kind of answered this
or tried to answer it.
I mean, there's several. There's so many ways, but my preference would be what I'm thinking Marvel might be doing right now is just seeding the mutants throughout the universe where people are just seeing them. We've seen them all being seeded already. We now have Namor. We now have Kamala. We now have Logan.
Kamala was the first.
Yeah, we now have Logan allegedly being identified in She-Hulk in the
Logan post. in the new Deadpool
movie? Yep. Okay. So my preference would be for them to do that throughout phases 4 and 5, I guess, where it's like we just keep seeing mutants pop up and they start becoming the menace type thing where because people have asked this question: how would a person in the MCU give a damn about somebody being a mutant?
Right, because you've seen everything.
But this is the difference. When your kid suddenly has powers, you're a normal human, and then suddenly your kid shoots fire out his mouth. It's a problem, you know what I mean? And so that's like, and then that's when you get into the whole racism aspect where people are afraid of mutants.
I was gonna say, is it really gonna be a thing when Black people en masse have powers?
No, it doesn't be. It's not Black people en masse. It's mutants.
No, I'm just
masse.
saying, like, there's Black people now, characters who have powers or superheroes of some sort, but it's not to the level of when, like, the mutants really start to a bunch of kids start having.
Yeah, because it's when you're kids and it's when it's unpredictable. When you just want to be a normal human family and then your kid's a mutant. Because it plays into the whole idea of, like, nowadays people have used it as, for queer, you can use it for all kind of different things. So it's like you're a straight dad and you're like, oh, I don't want a gay son, and then your son's gay, and then you're like, oh, I hate my gay son, and all that type of bullshit. So that's the type of prejudices that they can bring into it. So they go that route, and then one day, once they've established enough hysteria in the MCU, one day they have Professor X make the announcement, Krakoa is for all mutants, and boom, and then you go from there. And and for those who don't understand that, that's a reference to House of X, Powers of X, where the mutants take Krakoa to Mutant Island and form their own society there.
Yep.
Yeah. And it starts there and goes
to the moon.
To Mars. Yeah, literally to Mars and to the moon and everywhere in between.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Speaking of X-Men again, Kieran Gillen in the latest issue has Mr. Sinister. I'm not going to reveal everything, but Mr. Sinister doing one of the craziest plots because next year they're going to do a whole like Age of Sinister, like the Age of Apocalypse, right? So Sinister's doing this crazy plot, and he has Dark Beast. Do you know about Dark Beast from Age of Apocalypse?
No.
Okay, well, Dark Beast was an evil version of Beast, basically, right? From Age of Apocalypse. So he has his head in a jar, and Dark Beast is like, let me out, Sinister, I hate you, let me out on all this. And Sinister turns to him and he's like, you know what? Nah, it's not even worth it because you just be mad. You're not even the darkest beast anymore. Because the regular beast right now in House of X timeline is Hank McCoy has gone all the way left. I mean, that boy, doing dirt. I mean, dirt. I just read an issue where he was doing so much dirt that I had to stop and be like, is this really, God damn, Beast? But then you remember, see, if you don't notice, he already has a Dark Beast alternate, persona, that has been established. I was back Age of Apocalypse, 90s, it's like 20, 30 years. A Beast can get a little buck when need be, and Beast is going all the way buck right now. Read X-Men comics right now, y'all. They're just the best thing ever. And the more y'all who read them, the better chance we have of seeing this in the MCU. So do it.
This is true.
Support your local comic book shop.
Shout out to Anyone Comics in Brooklyn.
Word up. Every time.
The next questions actually come from Picture Me Rolling. Hi. Okay, I got 2 questions. Preguntas. First.
You're not even the darkest beast anymore.
First.
No, I was just like...
See, I can't even read the question. This man just be popping up.
I was like, ha ha. Oh, Karen, you're funny. All right.
First, if you're James Gunn and they just put you in charge of the DC movies and shows, what's the move? Do you do a hard reset and start from scratch, or do you salvage what you can and build around it? So let's answer that first part first with some information that's straight from James Gunn and friends themselves. So it's going to be a little bit of both. So right away, I can tell you this report actually came out today in the Hollywood Reporter. That one, Patty Jenkins, Wonder Woman 3 is not fucking happening. That shit is DOA. They actually told her, meaning...
I had to keep my poker face on right there.
David Zaslav, the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO, who is, quote unquote, radically reshaping the media company, him and a few other people in the street says that they told Patty that they're not moving forward with it and they are not considering it in its current incarnation. That could be code for one, never ever again. That's code for we're just replacing everybody and starting over from scratch. There's also talk that allegedly they're not going to move forward with a sequel to Black Adam. I don't know how true the veracity of that. It's because there's a lot of conflicting reports and words that are being said. For example, The Rock says shit like, "Oh, there's like a 50 million surplus or whatever. It made 50 million above." And then there's another report that says it lost 50 million, and like it's up and down. There's all these.
I'm gonna go with that second report.
The one that makes the most sense to me is the one that was like, it says the movie quote unquote only grossed 385 million worldwide, and the movie costs more than 190 million to produce. And they said the actual cost when you add marketing was more like 230. So right now the movie is basically breaking even. So that doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but they're just saying, you know, this is about money, right? And as you see how terribly a lot of these properties have been treated ever since that merger has occurred, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, nah, but I still think it would be kind of fucked up, mainly because I really had a great time with Black Adam. And I mean, it was what it was. Like, it was what it said it was. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. And then, like, of course, how does that affect or not affect things like Man of Steel? They say they may not be happening in the way that they said it was going to happen. So how does that affect?
They just said it was the other day,
and now they changed it up again. And that's what I'm saying. There's just a lot of shit. I read this whole article like, what the fuck? Like Henry Cavill, you know, he's back. He's 100% back as Superman. So they're gonna redo something for him.
Yes. Okay.
But like. I mean, that's
will it be Man of Steel 2 or Justice League? Yeah,
I don't know. And also, they basically what a lot of the air of this article is basically saying is the end of the Snyderverse. Like they're gonna flip it to the Gunverse, the Gun.
I'm not holding my breath for that. I'm clapping that up.
I don't know.
Big ups to that.
But
shout out to Noriega. Clap that one up. Clap that one up real quick. Clap that up. The end of the Snyderverse. Clap that up.
Next Aquaman film, there are no more Aquaman films, so they may lose Jason Momoa, but then there's a rumor that he may come back as Lobo. And again, I've never personally seen an actor.
Oh, he damn sure is.
Yeah, I've never seen. I mean, it'd be fire. It works to me, but I also never in these comic book universes have seen someone play the same two different characters in the same universe. Unless
you have
in the same universe. Who?
Yeah. Even in Marvel, in Eternals, it's just that she didn't have a major role, but the lead of Eternals is one of the Kree in Captain Marvel.
She was?
Yeah. I can't remember her name, but yeah, she's the lead, and she's one of Captain
somebody
Marvel's
major,
team.
I mean, not someone minor.
Well, yeah, it's just because the universes are so young. Like you'll probably see what's his name, Heimdall again in the MCU very soon.
Not as Heimdall?
Yeah,
he's still alive in where's the place that they go to? The
that's called dead. Valhalla.
Valhalla.
You are dead. If that wasn't clear, you are dead when you were in Valhalla. No, that is not alive.
It's clear. But,
yeah, that man dead.
You still see him as Heimdall. I don't know.
Yeah, but come on. You're not going to waste Idris.
I haven't seen it significantly.
If Idris wants to come back to the MCU, they would find a way to use Idris.
I've seen major characters cross universes, like go from DCEU to MCU and play different characters. But I just never personally.
Oh, well, Momoa is going to play because one, he should have played Lobo from the jump because they basically made Aquaman into Lobo, so it suits him. And
you don't think, to me, honestly, you haven't seen that last like Arthur Curry animation happen maybe 3 or 4 years ago, where that like the way Momoa was acting was that animation version of Arthur Curry. Like it was spot on. So I didn't feel like he was playing Lobo. I felt like he was playing the last, at least the last animation I saw, the last incarnation of Arthur.
I mean,
I gotta look it up, but what it was.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a mix, whatever. But he's still. I mean, Jason Momoa is Lobo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it'll be cool. They also saying, like I said, it seems like a lot of the shit is gonna be up, and I think rightfully so. There's nothing's precious in the DCEU right now. There are highlights, but I just don't feel like it's so precious that you can't just do some new shit or start over. It's less of a hard reset and more of a rewiring, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like what Marvel is doing with the Netflix properties. You keep what you want and you leave the rest behind.
Correct.
Or what Star Wars did with the extended universe.
Yes, which is why I think they're going to keep things like, and it says here like Shazam, because Shazam was one of their more higher performers. That's going to stay. Then Blue Beetle's coming in August. We got to see how that performs. So, I think. Oh, and then they're still writing the sequel to The Batman, which have Pattinson as Batman. So his version still may become that, which means they're going to recast like the other Justice League members potentially too. So. If there even is another Justice League.
No, the Batman is never going to cross over with the Justice League. And they're eventually going to, I think, they're going to let that play out. But I think they're going to eventually move, away from that. Even though, I don't know, because they say that Penguin show is happening.
The Penguin show is happening.
Yep. These don't still. Next question. I don't know what I would do with it. We spend enough time and I don't know what I would do with it. It's a lot. Yeah,
it's already happening. What they're doing with it. So, second question was: are y'all playing God of War Ragnarok? I haven't finished the game yet, but I don't remember having so much fun, even when I'm getting my ass whooped.
I've not played it yet. I love the first one, and I was like really hype about this one, but that $70 just really made me like, and I'm still addicted to. I'm cheap, and I'm still addicted to Overwatch. That's the other thing. Like. All right, I bought Game Pass, right? I've tried out multiple games, Nothing like, what do you call it? I think is beautiful gowns. And this don't hurt people's feelings when I say this.
What's beautiful gowns? Say it.
Ghost of Tsushima. It's like, it's cool, but it's like you walk around murdering some Mongols, but I don't know if I didn't get far enough where like the bosses, make it interesting, but just like the actual combat it's cool. It's fun, but it's Ubisoft games, it's open world, it's like do too much to get to a point.
Did you just start that? Because it came out like a couple of years back. Like
and I just started it. And I got a ways into it and I was like, nah, it's to the point where I'm like, damn, I could delete this, That's my thing, because I don't care enough, Like, I don't care to do all this murdering and going around the countryside and, every little thing you got to do. So it's like, all right, whatever. So that's how I feel. Like, I still haven't finished Stray. I think that was fun, playing as a cat. And that's a short game.
I wanted to play Stray.
Yeah, they say it's like 6 hours. And I got maybe an hour into it. And I was like, all right, I get the point.
Are you dead ass?
Yeah, it's just, that's how I feel. There's this other game I played where you're a guitar dude, where you're playing guitar. And everybody was talking about how it's like such a musical game. And to me, it's just mashing buttons. And it was interesting for a second.
Is Stray like the Goose Game? Untitled Goose Game?
No. Stray
the Untitled Goose Game was fun.
Stray is not like that. Stray is like you're trying to figure out something.
That's what Untitled Goose Game is. It's you're a goose called like just being
but aren't
a
you
menace.
Like yeah, no.
But you're figuring out stuff too.
Okay, no.
You're figuring out how to be a menace.
No. Stray is like you're on not a mission, but you're trying to find, I don't know, your way back home, I guess, kind of, so it's kind of like it's a very quiet and reflective game. It's quite fun, but I might just need to, get that some hours to finish it. Oh, another one, Saifu, the martial arts game. Man, I got my ass handed to me, and then like I got a new controller, and I was like, okay, now I can whoop these dudes up.
Now you're playing with power.
Yeah, and I was even like playing on Ghost of Tsushima and get my parry down. So I'm like, okay, I can go back to that. But I'm like, damn, it's my problem is I like games that are fun. I don't want like that's why I never played Dark Souls. I don't want an extreme get good challenge. I don't give a damn. Like I want a good story. Like my last favorite game that I played, that's why I do want to play God of War, because the story I loved, but was the Guardians of the Galaxy joint that they released earlier this year. That's like that story was so good. The action and combat was good enough. It had a lot of Marvel references, and the bosses were all Marvel bosses and stuff like that. So I liked it enough where even if it was challenging, I'd want to beat it. And the story, oh my God, broke my fucking heart by the end of that game. So yeah, that's what I mean. I need stuff like that, or I just need Overwatch where it's mindless, and every time I'm crying, laughing because somebody gets blown up so ridiculously. But I do back to the question. Yes, I will. I'll probably cop God of War in the next few weeks and get on that. So
cool.
I'll let y'all know.
All right. Next question comes from Jay Shep 831. What up?
What up?
HU, you know.
You know?
What comic storyline would you love to see in live action but won't translate well out of the book?
Most of them?
Most of them, right? Well, and also like they've translated The Impossible already, so it's just like what?
Yeah.
Oh, we said this. I think we answered this before. We had said we don't know if Wiccan and Divine will work, or it is going to work, but it's not quite.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that because I love Kieran so much, and I want him to eventually have it as a TV show. So I'm like, yeah, it'll work. You know, but I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a tough one, and man, Kanye made it even worse. Ooh. Hard, like you can't have a Kanye impersonation in there now. Like, ugh.
Yikes!
Yikes.
I mean, you can. That's the cult of personality. You can.
Yeah,
I mean,
why not?
That's kind of that. That was that character.
It is that character. That's all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think most like we talked about this, like how Infinity War is so different from the comic, and at the same time they're both great, but they're different. And I think that's what it is. Like, I'd like to see a lot of the moments from House of X, but there's certain stuff like Swords of X that fuck it, that'd be so ill if they did it though, right? So who knows? I don't know. I don't know. Like you said, I think I've already seen shit like Scott Pilgrim, which is such a perfect comic book.
I love one of my favorite adaptations ever.
And the comic is one of my favorite comics, and I think they're both. The movie says that the comic is better. I think it is, but at the same time, I think the movie is its own thing, and it's one of my favorite movies ever. So, yeah,
I think something that would be fire, and it's not a comic book; it's actually an anime manga. I don't think would translate well because you really got to be paying the fucking attention when you watch the anime. But Paranoia Agent, that's one of my most favorite anime of all fucking time. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but but. I saw it back in the day because of Cartoon Network and the Toonami block and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that it's some psycho analytical, like Dr. Dre Letterman needs to be with us at all times when you watch this shit because it's that fucked up in the head. And I've also I'm sad I've never seen anybody really cosplay as the main characters, but yeah, I think that would just it'll be, to use your word, it'll be ill. But I just can't see it happening. Like it's just too heady, and I just feel like it won't come out right. And it could be so fucking beautiful too, but I don't trust anybody to be able to translate that. Sorry. The next question from Jay Shep says, "What is the most ridiculous yet entertaining feat a comic book character has done?" I read this earlier and I got one.
All right, you go ahead while I think about it.
So this is the comic book character, but funnily enough, in live action, Superman for Superman 2. So we talking about Christopher Reeves. When the nigga Zod and his peoples ran up in Superman crib, and and Lois Lane was there too. So all these niggas in Superman crib, he did not invite these niggas. And Zod is talking his shit. Superman turn around and talk his shit. And one of Zod's people say, fuck that shit, I'm just going to lay hands on Superman. So he jump up to go, to give Superman the fade. Superman reaches over his chest, grabs his S, and throws it to capture this nigga like it was a fucking plastic bag from Walgreens. And when I say that shit worked, and that shit subdued this goon, and I was first of all, I think when I first saw this, I was I got maybe the first time I went to Howard, or maybe I was in the end tail of high school. When I seen this, I was fucking dying because I have just never seen such a, like, who decided that was a power, right? Like, and I've never seen Superman do it ever again. I don't know if it's ever been in the books or anything, but for him to use fucking plastic cellophane wrap as a weapon, I just thought that shit was so ridiculous, but entertaining as fuck.
Never ever in the books, and no, that was only for that one movie. And even back then, when everyone saw it, I didn't see it in the theaters. I was too young for that. But when I first saw it, I cried laughing. And the story goes that everyone who saw it in the theaters cried laughing. I thought it was some thought of some bullshit even
and I
then.
saw it on like TBS or some shit. Like that shit was hilarious.
No, as a kid, when we used to watch it on tape, I'd be like, "This is the dumbest shit ever." Like, I love Superman 2. It's one of my favorites, but there's so many goofy ass moments like in that movie. But it's such a good movie at the same time. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's every month for me. Like this month when Mr. Sinister is yelling at Beast's head in a jar, like. That was the most entertaining thing I've seen in a comic book. So I can't really say because it's always something. Something else happened in X-Men Red. Oh, I mean, X-Men Red was just full of hot shit this month, but I can't even tell you about any of that. Or when Magneto formed his own heart, when his heart got ripped out, and he used his powers to keep his own blood pumping for the next hour so he could finish what he needed to do before he passed away. In Storm's arms at that. He dies in Storm's arm. It was
wow, that is a lot.
Yeah, that was a few months ago, so that's a spoiler. But yeah, Magneto's done up right now, and even though the X-Men can all resurrect right now, he made it where he would not be resurrected, and so because of that, Magneto is dead. And it was a moment. I really hope they don't bring him back anytime soon because that was like it was such a moment. You know what I mean? Like.
I'm just like really sitting here trying to understand the mechanics of what you say. You said he used his own powers to.
It's during the war with the Eternals, and the Eternals released this dude Uranus, who is like worse than Thanos by legions. By like this man is just a monster who's been kept locked up for like thousands upon thousands of years, and they release him for an hour, and he murders thousands of Iraqi in that time. And while he's killing off all these people, Magneto comes at him. He tears Magneto's hearts out, throws him on the ground. You think Magneto's dead. And then after the dude leaves Mars, Magneto stands up and he's like, okay, now it's my turn. And he's got, he's holding his blood pumping through his body with his magnetic powers.
He's using the alkaline in his blood, and that's how he uses
also,
powers.
Magneto can just form. Yeah, that, and also Magneto can just form fields of energy. So he is forming fields of energy to
magnetic force fields, basically.
Yes, to create a heart in his chest, so he can do what needed to be done.
Okay.
And so that was the hour. that was the hour of Uranus, and then the next one was the hour of Magneto. And Magneto did what he needed to be done to put that man down for a bit. He couldn't stop him all the way, but he put him down, and then he passed away. It was, man.
Pretty epic.
Al Ewing, boy, he is writing the living shit out of X-Men Red, boy. That man is, every issue, I tell you. God damn. Yeah.
Okay. The next question comes from Joel. He is our intern. What up, Joel? How are you doing?
I saw this shit and didn't even realize it was from him. What up, Joel?
Yeah. First off, shout out to the team. Y'all been putting work in. Y'all been putting in work this year. 2022 has been full of content, and I know there's lots of hard work and passion to everything you do. Second, my question is, in an all-out multiverse secret war between the Star Wars universe and the Star Trek universe, who would win and why? I know you have your biases, so please be objective as possible. Love y'all and everything you do. Joel, a.k.a. Captain Philippa Georgiou on my mind, a.k.a. Queen Amidala makes me holla, honey boo boo. Okay. Well, sir, I like, okay, let me tell you this. I like the first one, the first AKA for sure. The second AKA, I like to a point. Queen Amidala makes me holla. Keep it there. Get rid of the honey boo boo part.
Yeah. Queen Amidala makes me holla. I like that.
I like that. That shit goes hard. So
yeah, Captain Philippa.
And I fucks with Philippa Georgia. I fucks with Michelle. So.
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh. So yeah, the question is, in an all-out multiverse secret war between Star Wars universe and Star Trek, who would win and why?
I know people have debated this, all the different ways. And I know a lot of people talk about how because Trek has transporter tech that they could like transport bombs right onto Star. But I know that Star Wars
don't kill people like all the time.
But I mean, like,
it kills enough.
Yeah, if you transport it on the ships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I know that from what I understand, the Star Wars force shields, you can't use that on their ships.
That's just like with Star Trek. If a shield is up, you can't transport the shield. And I don't know if that's been changed over the years, but historically speaking, if a shield is up, you can't beam out, beam in, nothing.
I know. I think from what I've also seen, the Empire, when it comes to like, being a war focused, nation or galactic confederacy,
Yeah.
their ships like dwarf Star Trek, right? The Star Destroyers are on legions of size.
I was thinking that I don't think there's any Trek ship that goes nowhere near as hard. And by hard, I mean just mass, just size and mass
and damage
of like a Star Destroyer or a cruiser or anything like that. Because like, even though like Trek is not the Federation's not meant to be a warfaring organization, right? So they're not building these giant frigates like you see in Star Wars. That's not to say that's none that exists, but I also feel like it's more so the warring type of nations, like maybe Ferengi type shit, or maybe some really Borg and shit like that, right? Or
the Borg
even,
will be a problem.
People and stuff. Like I just think like to me the only
even the Vulcans. Yeah, I don't think they have. I mean the Klingons. The Klingons ain't no problem.
But Klingons are warfaring, but not.
But they ain't ready for the Empire. I ain't never seen them bring no shit like the Empire be bringing out.
You know what? I 100% think the Klingons would wash all Star Troopers. I think they would just wash these niggas real easy.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when them niggas bring out the Star Destroyers. Like that's where the Empire's a problem.
If you're talking about bringing out ships, I agree with you. And I may need to see one of those scientific maps where they show the size of all the ships.
I've seen it, and I meant from what I understand,
I feel like all the Empire ships are just. I mean, they're planet size. There's literally the fucking Death Star. It's planet size or moon size. So, I don't know. Like besides space stations, there are space stations that are just that big, but I don't know any like war class, like frigate class. A fighter class type shits in the
Borg would be a problem for the
Borg
Empire.
Would be, and that's what leads me to my next comment. Thank you. The Borg is the main problem I'm thinking in my head that would really be fuck shit up when it comes to the people in Star Wars. Big ass ship or no shit, the Borg will fuck your shit up.
Yes.
Because once they there, that's it. Your shit is done. And it'll be even worse because they're gonna take over the fucking Star Destroyer, Star Cruiser, whatever the fuck, and then make it their own. So all they're gonna do is absorb it and turn it around on you. They're gonna take the fucking Death Star 10.0 and do their own shit to it, and then combine it with a fucking cube. They're gonna make some fucking shit that looks wild and out of control.
But then the other issue with that is if you're talking about a multiverse of war, is that Star Wars has things like Sith and the Force and Vader, and problematic things that I don't know if anything is. I don't know if anything. I don't think the Borg are ready for that either. Like
I don't think
Vader is washing the Borg.
I'm like trying to think, with the exception of maybe one or two stories. Like I don't really know any Star Wars stuff where it's like more like magical, as as the forces. And I just use that as a catch-all.
Other than like Q, who's godlike.
Right, like the Force is magic, right? So whereas Trek is science. So like now you're doing magic and science, and I'm just like, well, what wins in the end, right? Like there's things that could like impact each other or offset each other. But I think at the end of the day, them fucking ships in Star Wars, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I'm going with Star Wars.
The Borg would be the only failsafe.
I'm going with the Emperor and ships. Like I've seen Clone Wars, the Emperor be washing fools.
I'm gonna give it a stalemate until I can do some more research. I'm gonna put it in a stalemate because once I got to the Borg, that was the part where I'm like, well, they can potentially not.
Oh, Vader washing them though. The Force.
You think
is
Vader's washing the Borg? All of them?
Look, all of them? This man is they never show it. Like Rogue One was a quick sampling. This man washes anything he runs into.
But he washes human beings.
What can they do? They would not get close. He would tear them apart.
Vader is part cybernetic.
He's tearing. They're not getting close to him.
Are you sure? Are you sure? And that's what I'm saying. Are you sure?
Gets close. How? Wow.
What if they do? What if they do a nanobot type shit that Vader don't sense or see, and that touches him? You only need one. One. That's what I'm saying. That's what when we start talking about, because one thing about Star Wars, if it's not the magic, there's the machine. They make that very clear. And half of the fucking Empire, at least when you're going to like the later movies.
All right, but then what about like robots? The Emperor? What about Darth Maul? What about like, there's a lot of
They're going to fuck shit up.
Yeah,
like the ones that are organic are going to fuck shit
up.
That's
what I said then.
But
Emperor.
to me, Darth Maul, to me, I think Klingons could take on a Darth Maul.
Hell no.
You don't think so?
Hell no. He's cutting through them. It's to be so terrible the way he's
he's going to cut through that bat lift like butter.
He's cutting through all of them.
But I think somebody will be a warrior and step up. But I don't think
you gotta understand. You gotta understand. Like the Force users would move like the Flash to humans. Like Klingons would be standing in slow motion while he sliced them in half.
But I still think, and that's why I still think it's like a stalemate, because I feel like for every Sith user / magic with someone with a lightsaber that's going to win over any general human in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Then you got the Borg who counteracts the other part. And then the other thing, again, the whole ship situation. So that's why initially I'm saying stalemate. My needle is leaning a little bit towards Star Wars.
I'm leaning towards Star Wars.
I'm leaning a little bit towards Star Wars, but I still is too close to 100% tell.
It's close, but if I'm taking the Emperor and his ships and they're serving, Yeah, they're putting in work. I think they're blowing up the Borg and moving on. I think they're a problem, but eventually, that cube gets blown the fuck up. And then it's like, all right,
There's like one, there's like a couple, no, that's not one. There's a couple of destroyer class.
Man, they
ain't nowhere near as big as, they're nowhere near as big. All right, y'all. But anyway.
That Death Star is blowing that cube apart. That's what I mean.
You think so?
What? One shot, nigga. It's a wrap.
You don't think it's fast enough to move out the way? And I'm not talking about back in the day,
fast,
Borg.
Bro.
I mean, the Borg now. Like, you don't think it'd be fast to move?
I don't know, but that shot moves pretty fast. You don't think they would have
thought about that with their hive mind? You don't think they would have had that information? We have the plans. And all it takes is one motherfucking bomb down a shaft right in the middle. You know what I mean?
This is true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was a fantastic question, Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one comes from Ali So Glam on Twitter. They write, just want to say first that I love this show and have been a listener for years and wish you guys all the happiness and joy that life can bring.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The podcast has helped me feel less alone in general, but also in my love of all things nerd, and even have been able to share some with my 12-year-old as well. Excellent. He gets on my case if he catches me listening to even the non-spoiler reviews if he hasn't watched. So y'all are actually influencing the next gen as well. Yes. Gotta raise them right. We love to hear it. Love to see it. Yes. ForAllNerds loves the kids. Anyway, I know Ben said you guys are trying to consolidate the shows, but listening to Outlaw Bars was the first podcast about anime featuring all Black women that I have ever encountered, and I have not seen any since. I give all my condolences for the great Deadly Diva as always. Yes, Mia, rest in power, always. Mm-hmm. Do you ever plan to add another anime-focused piece for ForAllNerds? Do you know of any other Black anime podcasts? Women-led for extra points. Thank you, Allie. She said, thank you guys for all you give to the fam. We appreciate your dedication and time, Allie. Thank you. Wow. So you're right. That is something I've always thought about, but I don't know, like the stars haven't aligned quite yet for that to happen. That was Outlaw Bars was a show that I produced. Gathered the amazing women of Outlaw Bars, and as you rightfully said, the great Deadly Diva headed that. I don't know. It's something that is always in my mind somewhere. It's but the framework hasn't been built yet. But I'm not going to rule it out. But we shall see.
Yeah,
we shall see. I think there's space. Clearly, there's space for it, and I think, as you mentioned yourself, people want to hear that and see it.
Mm-hmm. And even with us consolidating the shows, what I meant more by that was like we have views from the 616. And I really did not want to develop another show just to do DC. Or then, like, what if we wanted to talk about Invincible Season 2, which I'm really excited about. And do we really have to make another superhero-based show? Or do we just say views from the 616 on Invincible?
Because it's a comic book-based show. So you're trying to make views from the 616 expand beyond MCU and just be comics-based?
Yes. Because I just feel, and even, like, because it just gets to the point where we're doing too much, where we have too many shows and we're diluting the ForAllNerds brand.
So that's why, like with Castle Black, you want to talk about fantasy and not just Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Even though Castle Black is very Game of Thrones.
But it's just like, well, see, I was speaking with Dr. Dre about this, and she started with Arkham Asylum Pod, which was at first about Arkham Asylum, about Batman. And it's now Arkham Asylum Pod covers anything superhero related.
This is true. Yeah, so we may go that route. So yeah, to Ben's point, like, it's not that we won't potentially have that focus in the future. We just may not have a separate show, like a separate title name for it. Outlaw Bars is an existing format and existing name, so maybe it'll come back. Or as Ben said, maybe we'll just bring it up somewhere else. But it's on my mind. It's always been on my mind. It's never really left.
Yep. Yeah, mine too. Because I watch what anime I can, and it's just also, once again, it's a lot of things that we watch that we might not, review or talk about on here. I just watched this movie Troll that's on Hulu right now.
I heard about that.
Yeah, it's a Norwegian joint. I was actually thinking it was a sequel to this movie Troll Hunter, which is another Norwegian film that is about giant trolls. So Norwegians just seem to be obsessed with giant trolls because these movies have nothing to do with each other, but they both have giant trolls. And there's very similar attributes to these giant trolls. So I think this is just like because of their culture and myths in their culture.
Okay.
But Troll on Hulu is really solid, and the effects on the troll himself are really fire. Like, it just looks really good. Like, I like when things are fantastical, but they, because it's taking place in modern day. So it's like there's a giant troll running through the countryside of Norway. So it looks like a giant troll, but it's not where it's like, oh, that's CGI. You know it's CGI, you know what I mean? But it just looks good in the environment. It feels like it has weight when it's moving, when it's walking. So I really like that. I really love when things look really good when they're like something giant like that on screen. So I love giant trolls too. Yeah. I'm a giant troll.
I knew where that was going.
Yep. And I think that's it for the guac.
That is it. Great question, though. But yes, that is the end of our guac questions and towards the end of the guac episode, actually. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. We appreciate everything you do, all the support you give us, all the love you share. And we want to reflect that back on you as well. If you have a question, email us, contact@forallnerds.com. You can also hit us up on the interwebs, on the socials, at ForAllNerds, on the Twitter and on the IG. Of course, if you are part of the Patreon fam, we adore you. You can hit us up anytime, drop a note if you have a guac question. And as always, just thank you. Thank you for everyone who's been supporting us through ForAllNerds.com for the t-shirts. Again, you can still go to the TeePublic as well. Thank you to everyone who has been subscribed to us and continue to subscribe. That is so important. On all podcast platforms, okay? We on every goddamn podcast platform, damn near known to man. So wherever you see us, just subscribe. I don't care if it's the 5th subscription, just do it. It's typically free. Make sure you are following us on the twitch.tv/ForAllNerds, where we try to go live when the technology cooperates with us. And when you are there, if you are so inclined, and please, we appreciate you, especially if you're an Amazon user, Amazon Prime user, use your Amazon account to connect to Twitch. You get a free Prime subscription every month, or a free Twitch subscription every month to a channel of your choice. Please let that be For All Nerds. Again, twitch.tv/ForAllNerds. I'm at Tatiana King. Follow me for Thirst Traps. That's at DJ Ben Hameen. Follow this man for some dope cosplay when he feels like cosplaying, as well as all the dope stuff he does with music. And just be following us, you know what I'm saying? Like if you see us in person, say what up. If you see us having live events, please attend. Please tell people about it. It's really important that we continue your support in the metaverse and all that. Ben, anything else you got?
Nah, I think that's about it. Thank y'all as always. We will be back very soon. We'll be dropping an Avatar: The Way of the Water review next week. People are saying that it's an achievement. Technically, it's beautiful and dope. And don't bet against James Cameron.
It better be for $3. Goddamn.
It damn sure better be. And I still have many questions about these dreadlocks on these things, but we'll see if we can answer them in our review coming soon.
Cultural appropriation.